Want to see how I find a valve without a locator? Watch this. I'm out on this property to go look for a stuck open valve, and here's the kicker. I didn't bring a tracker with me, but I was told that, well, there's the water. I was told that it was in this portion of the property from a Google. Well, finding this valve won't be too hard. I don't know if you can see it through the camera on the glasses, but there's a thin stream of water coming out of the ground right there. This one is a rotor, but that is indicative of a solenoid being broken off the valve. I'm going to try not to get my glasses wet, but let's see if that is in fact what it is. I see a valve, and that is the solenoid port. And there's the solenoid. We cleaned up the area and we installed a new solenoid here to get the valve to shut off. It's still not shutting off right there. You can see the old solenoids right here next to it. So the next thing that we're going to work with is the flow control. And since the handle on this one is broken, we're going to use pliers until we can get the zone to shut down. And while I do this, let me explain. This particular zone is watering a berm on the backside of this property. And it was installed when the property was first being developed. So when the developers come into a property, they'll put up essentially 4 walls or 4 berms, and they have to water those berms. And these temporary zones are for that. Once the houses get built, then the homeowners are responsible for watering this green space, and then these valves become not needed anymore. So there's a strong possibility that I'll be shutting this down and not turning it back on. And it's off. So, problem solved. Okay, so that solves the main problem. The main problem is that the 3 or 4 houses that zone is watering behind were complaining about flooding because the valve was stuck open. We have now solved that problem. The valve is no longer stuck open so that we don't have to worry about flooding behind those houses. I will have to have a conversation with the property manager to discuss the possibility of capping that valve off and putting a valve box over top of it, or replacing that valve with a new valve and putting a new valve box over top of it. The reason why that broke in the first place is because there is no valve box and the lawnmower ran it over. All right, on to the next one.